Desiree Moody, Miss Moody. She is a publisher.
Sure, we're just listening.
She's a publisher and has written a wonderful series of books. And we're just going to let Desiree take it away.
Now, anyone who is an aspiring author can just produce a product and get the product to market and really not have to go through anyone who can, poo-poo it. If you have the resources, if you have the technology, and right now those barriers to entry are pretty minimal. You can just do that, and that's exciting too, because it gives room for the works and more creativity, and it's great, and more control, more creative control, and that's a good thing. But like every advance and every sort of leaps forward that we make technologically in society, whatever, there's downsides, right? So one of the downsides, the thing that I hear the most just in my work with authors and talking to them is that there's a steep learning curve with this stuff, and doing it right and doing it effectively, right? People say, okay, yeah, self-published books, that's great. And so very many people go into it thinking that they are just going to kind of sit down at their computer, type out a book, put it on Amazon, make $1 million. It does not really work that way. There are so many factors. There are so many moving parts. There are so many things that even a seasoned person may encounter that they did not consider. And that can be a source of serious frustration for a lot of authors who are kind of getting into the game and don't really know the self-publishing, landscape. It can be a quagmire. So the frustration that I hear kind of time and time again is steep learning curve, lots of moving parts, so many different hats to wear, right? Because now it's not just about writing anymore. You're pretty much running an author business. You're running a business. And so as that CEO or the head of that business, you are now in charge of product packaging, quality control, marketing, everything. And what I hear over and over again is, I just want to write. You were a writer, you got into this game to write, and it's difficult to focus on your craft, improving that, and also manage a lot of the parts of running an author business. If you are a self-publishing author who's marketing him or herself and your work, there's a lot that goes into that. So this is actually what the traditional publishers did really well, right? So while they were notoriously selective, while they were super slow to get your product to market, even if it was accepted, what they did, they handled, we can have a whole nother session about whether or not they handled the marketing properly, but you as an author, all you had to focus on was getting your book done. And so there are a lot of people out there doing sort of hybrid models, but what I kind of did with my Word Wielders Story Studio program, which is a very small pilot program, is that I just wanted to partner with a very small group of authors, and this is strictly writers of genre fiction. So this is if you write romance, mysteries, thrillers, sci-fi, fantasy, maybe literary fiction, but really I focus more just on genre fiction because I'm always about storytelling and telling a good story. And really just giving them the space and the support and the resources that they need to really just write good stories, write good books, and have the creative control, to an extent that self-publishing gives. Have the say, have the input in all that stuff if they want, but then to have, at least while they're learning, someone who has done this time and time again, built platforms, packaged products, marketed, published, all of that. Just kind of handle that stuff for them and really take them through it in baby steps, almost spoon feed them. The kind of support you don't really get with a traditional, top 5 New York City publisher. So that was really kind of just the idea behind it. And then, like I said, the program is really small. It's really just a handful of authors who most I already knew and whose work that I believed in. And then kind of as we grow, I'll be bringing more people on. So yeah, is it questions time?
Absolutely. So on your journey as a writer, what did you find was one of the most important keys to continue to just keep writing?
Oh, okay. So 2 things. Number one, and this is a problem. So the writers that I work with, the writers that I coach, and I had this problem too, so I'm not even excluding myself from this equation. You can edit at the same time. You cannot write and edit at the same time. Can't do it. You need to allow yourself as a writer space to get that draft on paper and allow it to be as just a hot mess as it's going to be.
Absolutely.
Accept it, come to terms with it, embrace it, love it. This draft is going to be a hot mess, but guess what? It's going to be done. If you stop and try to edit it, you might pretty it up on the way, but you are reducing the likelihood that that draft is going to get finished. You can't publish anything until you finish it first, right? So get it out, let it be a hot mess, and fix it. But you have to get it out first. So that's number one. So in my process, when I'm showing up to the page, like I'm a planner, so I kind of have an idea. I know what scene or scenes or chapters that I'm going to write in a given day. And I literally just bang keys. I don't even punctuate. I don't stop to fix when the red squiggly line shows up. I don't go back to right click and correct the spelling. I talk to myself in the parentheses as I'm writing. Like I'll write something and it just immediately, and I'm like, no, and I'll put parentheses. Okay, we're not going that way. But the point is, I keep writing. I keep typing, and until I get to sort of the end of all that thoughts or all the whatever in that scene. And it's jumbled. Like no one is going to understand it but me. I might not even understand it on a given day. But the point is that piece of writing that I set out to do that day is finished. And then I keep going until the entire work is done. Then I let it breathe for a week or two. And then we can kind of go back and start turning it into something someone might actually want to read. But the point is you just have to go through it. And when I really, really embraced that and allowed myself the space to do that as a writer, my drafts got done so much better. And quicker, I should say.
Absolutely. That's a really good key point. And we thank Desiree for your wonderful speech and sharing with the audience what they needed to do to keep writing. And thank you for being inspiring.
Thank you.
This is Winona, and I know I'm the behind-the-scenes person. I'm not really supposed to be talking today. But I just wanted to say it was awesome to have you and to have a New York publisher, so thank you for coming this week. I just wanted to put my personal yay, thanks. All right, I'm done now.
Thanks for having me.
And enthusiasm. And we thank you and for your wonderful smile also. Okay, so now we're going to move to our next